Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I want to clarify something for those that have watched all the different demigods on YouTube as well as social media and mainstream terrestrial TV and radio. Jilly Juice is a strategy. Jilly Juice Protocol is a strategy that works with the food supply and works with the environment. And yes, it is FDA approved because all of the constituents within the recipe are all bought and sold on the open market through corporations, and they are government regulated. And so Jilly Juice is a strategy. It is an evolution. It works with the environment. It works with the food supply. And so the strategy is you're seeing, because you're seeing now me focus on specific body types, regardless of what your predispositions are, because that's almost irrelevant. Your specific body types, whether they're obese or whether very, very underweight and very skinny, tells everybody that there is a hormonal imbalance. And when you have a hormonal imbalance, you have to understand how to utilize the thermodynamics. You already have the environment that you have to work with, and your environment is very piezoelectric. It has so many different transducers and transistors as well as resistors. And then you also have the food supply that has all the different nutrients and a lot of different the minerals and the elements and the pluses and minuses that will then work with the body based upon your intention. Okay, so right now people are thinking that Jilly Juice is a product. It's like something that you buy like in a jar. No, you don't buy Jilly Juice. You should not buy Jilly Juice from anybody. If anything, it's a recipe. And then I have on videos, I have and also the pinned post in social media how to make it. I do explain all the reasoning behind the white salts. I do explain all the reasoning behind the cabbage and kale, as well as the fermentation, the probiotic. I explain all the reasoning behind why it is that there's an electrical surge when you are feeling symptoms, because it is electricity. It is dispersing the nutrients in its prospective place, and then you have to feel pain. Okay, why do you have to feel pain? Because that is part of the agonist antibodies then finally applying the programming that you have resisted for such a long time. Because all the cures on the market are curing you in the state of wherever your body started trying to evolve. Okay, and then what happens is when your body finally reaches that peak performance of evolution based upon the cures that you're taking, then it starts declining. It starts devolving. And so when you're in a cured state in a thermodynamic or dynamic environment, you start declining. You start seeing then your body going down a very chaotic downhill type of decline. And so one must understand that the recipe is what is the Jilly Juice protocol, and then working with the food supply, all the food supply. Because remember, the programming from the viruses, which are transducers, they have genetic material, they have the ACTG, and then your body has the uracil. Now, does the viruses have uracil? They probably do, because some of them have, they all have been bioengineered in some way, because uracil is your link to adapt to the new environments. It's the link between the old world and the new world, and then you transitioning to the new world. And it can be very chaotic relative to how far behind the 8 ball you are, or it could be very relatively okay, you'll have mucus and you might cough, but you're not going to die or contract some de-evolutionary disease. Because when you think about it, evolution and de-evolution are kind of like two sides of the same coin. When you start devolving, your body wants to then evolve. So you're feeling things simultaneously as they happen, and then how you characterize it based upon whether or not you keep devolving or you actually evolve. Okay, so viruses are the key to evolution, and that's why they are promoting the vector therapeutics to help you transition. And sometimes people stay in a cured state because they don't want to feel aggressive evolution. And then when they feel the evolutionary symptoms, then they start taking their Advil. They start taking all of their different pills, powders, supplements, detoxes, herb remedies, all their little concoctions that their friends and family make them, because they're all trying to be fancy themselves to be some kind of herbalist. And so you never evolve in an environment that is very evolutionary, because you are keeping yourself in a cured state. So a cured state in a dynamic environment does then equal degradation. It does equal decay. And then that's why people contract cancer, disease, chronic illness, and autoimmune disorders. And so Jilly Juice is a strategy. The Jilly Juice protocol is a strategy. It's a strategy above all other strategies out there. And so those that are consumers, that are only very black and white when it comes to buying and selling and remedies, all they know how to do is buy something with whatever black and white they think the intention is, and they only know how to sell something black and white, what they think the intention is. They don't understand strategy, because when people are like, oh, you're not very consistent, like I've been told I'm not very consistent. Well, hello, we live in a freaking dynamic universe. We live in a dynamic environment. It's ever evolving with new viruses in the environment. And so Jilly Juice, the actual Jilly Juice, is actual action potential, is electricity. And then the food supply is the covalent bonding. It is also the coding. Okay, it responds to the coding in your DNA. So you have codons in your ACTG, which is your DNA double helix. Okay, and then you have the food supply, which is also coded to the DNA double helix based upon then the virus. The virus has coding, your DNA has coding, and the food supply has coding. And so that's why if you're eating organic foods and you're trying to stay away from Bill Gates and you're buying seeds from like freaking 50 million years ago that has nothing to do with this environment, you're depleting your body of possible innovation. And then, yeah, you'll go back to being a caveman. Well, I don't know, literally, you probably won't survive that de-evolutionary process, because your kids are now subject to however the government and you ply them with whatever innovation. And so you have to understand that Jilly Juice is a strategy. It is a strategy above all else, and it is a strategy of maintaining existence. It's a strategy of immortality. And you will not find this in some cultures out there that are promoting so many spices in the food. There are some cultures that really promote very, very spicy food, which has an antibiotic effect on your microbiome, on your gut. And that very antibiotic quality, the very heavy spices like turmeric and curcumin, I guess, is that how you say it? Curry and cayenne pepper, a lot of garlic. What else? All the different allspices, cinnamon, all the different heavy spices that people use in very ethnic cultural dishes, they will stop the microbiome from actually developing, because it keeps them in a cured state. That's why those herbs and spices are used in holistic remedies, because they understand the aggressive action potential that actually is overwhelming any kind of life force and then causing people to be in a cured state. So that's why I say, you guys got to stop with the herbs and spices and stop trying to cure yourself from all the different pain, and stop using Jilly Juice as a cure. Because yes, some people in my group are using Jilly Juice as a cure, and I can't talk them out of it. Believe me, I try to tell people you got to deal with pain, but remember, people want to make money. They want to be out there, 100% out there, and they want to use Jilly Juice as a cure, not as a training wheels to flex your intracellular muscles, and then you eat all the food supply, not just little bits and pieces, and not just feeling a little bit of pain or maybe one major pain, and then after you start getting more symptoms from evolution, you start using Jilly Juice as a cure to wash away the evolution. No, Jilly Juice is there to kind of help with the mediation process, but it's not to be overused in a way that was okay back when the environment was not as aggressive. I mean, the environment is aggressive no matter what. That's why we have people dying of cancer, disease, and chronic illness. But we also had to see people reverse their issues. We also had to see people get their test results from biotech to say that they're clear of cancer, they're clear of all these different issues. They don't have the diabetes anymore. They don't have the thyroid issues anymore. But now they have to evolve to the new level environment. They have to get strong. They have to pack on the weight to build the insulation. And that's where the evolution right now with the Jilly Juice is saying, okay, we're heading into, in the next 3 months, it's going to be fall. It's going to be fall, and you're going to be dealing with so many piezoelectric forces from all the different viral variants that are going to be mutating because of the nature of viruses and the nature of 7 billion people mutating viruses. And it's impossible to get everybody on the same biochemical programming. So someone's always going to mutate a virus that everyone else is going to have to adapt to and evolve to at some time. And so now, thank God, somebody in my group Jolie, you're amazing. She ate everything. She pooped on her own. She's going to understand that she's got to pack on the pounds, even if food makes her feel queasy and anxiety ridden. She understands that's part of the process because you have to eat food. You can't stay away from food. You cannot narrow and paint yourself in a corner where you can only eat one or two foods. You can't live indefinitely when you're starving yourself. And so those that are playing the breathing games, or playing the fasting games, playing all those games of the holistic allopathic energy healing world, and you're depriving yourself of food and depriving yourself of meat, which you need the purines, you need the pyrimidines, you need all of that DNA hormones from animals, from vegetables or plants. You need all of that. So that way you're able to adapt to the next environment. If you start resisting the evolution that's already in your atmosphere, you have friends and family around you that already evolved to the next level environment. Now, they might be in a cured state because they don't want to feel pain, but they have the programming that you're going to have to deal with. And if you keep resisting that programming and starving yourself and taking all the different cures, guess what? You're going to piezoelectric yourself out of existence. And then all of that resistance becomes then overheating. And you'll be like a glitching phone that had the wrong adapter plugged into it until the battery then is dead. Okay? And so physics has everything to do with Jilly Juice. And again, it is a strategy. It is not a product to be bought and sold. It is not a tool to use in your weapon of activism. Yes, I've been through a lot of shit in my life. Okay, and some of you have gravitated towards some aspects of how I came to know this information, but those experiences help me understand the bigger picture. And so instead of looping into what I said maybe a couple of years ago about certain things that you are very aware of, like MK Ultra, if you're still stuck back in my old information and cycling and looping in that crap, and you haven't evolved to what I'm saying now, you're not going to survive the next environment. There's no freaking way. Because some of you are obese, some of you are very underweight, some of you are using Jilly Juice as a cure to wash away your evolution, and some of you aren't even doing Jilly Juice at all. You're just, looking for pieces of my information to then use as an arsenal in your activism against somebody out there in the government or somebody out there in biotech. And so if you are going to demonize a person, place, or thing, or an element, or anything, and you're not evolving to the next level of the environment, there's no way you're going to survive it. And so all of your activism, all of your religion, and your politics, and your science are going to be for naught. And you'll lose credibility because you won't be around anymore. And then your kids are going to learn the same thing that you did, and they're going to supernova and glitch themselves out of existence because you haven't learned how to evolve to new information and to learn how to see both sides. Because yes, esoteric knowledge is about the Trinity. The top of the capstone is the outcome. It's the intelligence. And the two dueling dualities that you guys are all stuck in, not all of you, but some of you, those are the things that balance out the outcome. But if you stay stuck on one side or the other and you don't balance them both, then you will not get the intelligence in your body, mind, or spirit. You'll stay stuck in your religion. You'll stay stuck in your little dogmatic scientific belief system. You'll stay stuck in your dogmatic politics. And then you will supernova and you'll go out with a bang. And hopefully you won't take down people with you. But you'll probably take your kids with you because your kids are going to learn everything from you. And so I'm only asking you guys just to understand that Jilly Juice is a strategy. It is not a product, and it's not a tool for your weapon of arsenal of activism. Okay, and so that's why I release a lot of people from my group. That's why I get kind of like smarmy and kind of like not very patient with those that ask me the same questions because they're not evolving. You guys must evolve to the level of your environment. If not, then what are you doing? What's the point of your life? Okay, if you want to go and ascend somewhere out there and go to heaven or hell, then there's no point in you doing what you're doing. You'll just, you'll get to that point based upon your beliefs, but there's no reason to convert everybody to your beliefs. If you believe you should die, because everyone in politics, religion, and science that doesn't do Jilly Juice all believes they should die at some point. So if you all believe you should die at some point, then why are you trying to save each other? See, that's the irony, and that is the hypocrisy when it comes to politics, religion, science, and activism. Y'all believe you should die someday, but you want to save each other from some, invisible enemy, and you have some hero somewhere tucked away, in your religion stuff. And you're speaking out both sides of your mouth, so people are understanding, like, what are you doing? You think you should die, but you're trying to save me. Oh, but you need to go to heaven. But that's all like, fantasy stuff. Okay? You could be a snapshot in supernova and be like, a spirit on Ghost Hunters and think you're a demon. And you say, oh, yeah, that's a demon. That's a devil. That's satanic. Or you can stay on this earth and appreciate for what it is. Try to help balance out your environment and balance out your family. So that way y'all can enjoy the beautiful things on earth. Because I'm telling you, there's some beautiful places on earth. You go to Hawaii, you go to the Bahamas, you go to the mountains, you go to the streams, you go to the seas, you go all these different places. And that's beauty. Why you want to go off to a different, realm where you live in a virtual world that you don't even know exists just because someone wrote about it doesn't mean that it exists. They were alive when they wrote about it. So, but you think people are here. Some people think that ghosts are alive and they can sit here and tell you about heaven or hell. All right. I can't argue with some belief systems out there. I really can't. But if you want to live, then you'll put everything to your body that's going to align to the new environment. And if you're okay with passing away, then there's no reason to save your friends or family through your religion, your politics, or your science. Because if you believe you should die, then why the heck are you on an activism train? That's what I don't understand. So if you don't understand Jilly Juice, then you really don't want to live. You still want to promote your agenda. And so Jilly Juice is a strategy. It is not a product. All right, bye.